Okay. Hello, this is Cece with Going Solo, and you are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. And today I have with me Debbie Martinez. Welcome, Debbie, to the show.
Thanks, Cece. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, it is great having you. You have a terrific site. It's called transformationthroughdivorce.com, and that's transformation, and the through is spelled THRU, divorce.com. I wanted to bring you on the show today because so often as we're heading up, going towards the holidays, it is so heart-wrenching for everyone. And I wanted to be able to bring you on because you are such an expert in your field. So tell us a little bit, how did you get into being a certified divorce coach? You are also, do collaborative divorce, which I think is something a little bit new, even though it's been around for a long time.
Right.
I think a lot of people are not aware of it. So how did you get into these type of fields and into really helping other people getting through some of the hardest times in their lives?
So my background is I'm a behavior specialist for severely disturbed children, but I went through my own divorce, which was the catalyst for me saying, you know what, I think there was something missing. I think there was a part of the puzzle that was missing in my divorce. And what was missing was a coach. So everyone, you have your attorney, you have your accountant, you have your friends, you have your family, you have a therapist, but a coach is really someone who pulls all of that together. We are not a therapist. We are a coach. So we coach you through the entire process. We make sure that you're making the best decisions possible, because when you're going through a hard time like a divorce, you're only using 40% of your brain. So we step in and we help you make the right choices, and not based on your emotion or fear, but on what's really going to be best for you and your children moving forward. And so I help them navigate that entire process, the legal process, the emotional process, and then life after divorce. How do you co-parent? How do you parent with someone who's a difficult ex? How do you date? You're a single person. You need to have a social life. You need to have a dating life. How do you do that and still be a parent? How do you find yourself again? Lots of women are stay-at-home moms, and then they find that all of a sudden they're divorced. They've lost that identity. They have to go back to work. They don't know what to do. They're no longer a wife. And so now they're saying, well, who am I? And so I help them rediscover who they are as well. And you're right, collaborative has been around, but it's really gaining a lot of traction now, and that's a different way to get divorced. You're not litigating. You're not sitting across the table being enemies. You're sitting across the table as a team. You each have your own attorney, and you have one financial person, and you have one mental health person and a coach who acts as the case manager, and you sort out every detail of your divorce as a team. So when you walk away, yes, your household and your family is split, but you're walking away in the best possible situation that you can, because it's not antagonistic. There wasn't any litigation.
Right. I think it's really a great facet for individuals to be able to look at, to go through. Now, you also do mediation, don't you?
I do. Mm-hmm.
And arbitration, you said. So tell us, what is the difference between mediation and arbitration? What is that?
So with mediation, my clients would come to me, and I am not an attorney. I just want to make that clear. So I don't give legal advice. I will sit down with them, and we will sit, the three of us, and we will just mediate. We'll negotiate. What is it that you want? What is it that you want? Arbitration, because I'm not an attorney, I cannot do arbitration solely. I have to be part of a team. And a person will come and they'll sit in front of the team, and then the team or the panel will make the decision for them. Which, if you can, the best way to get divorced is to go through mediation, where you are in control of your outcome. Don't let a judge, don't let a panel of arbitrators make up that decision for you. You sit there, be adults, be reasonable, and have control of your future, which is mediation or collaboration.
I love that. I mean, I've been talking with a lot of mediators, and I just feel, and I've been bringing it more and more on our site, because I want people to be more aware that they have different options when they go through divorce. It's not just what it used to be. There are a lot of different options out there, depending, of course, upon their state that they're in. And, we can change the face of divorce. We don't have to go and rip families apart. We don't have to be so in the trenches of, sadness, just terribly sadness. So that brings me to the holidays, because the holidays reminds us that we are alone. I mean, it hits us right between the eyes. So any suggestions that you can give those out there, what they can go through if they're going through the midst of, they're in the middle of going through a divorce or separation, what can they do to try to help minimize some of the heartache they're going through?
Any holiday is tough. And the holidays that bring us together as families, like Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, those are even harder, because if you are going through a divorce or you are divorced, part of your family is missing. Maybe you don't see your in-laws. You're certainly not married, so you don't see your spouse. And you're having to split your children between two households. So there's a couple of different things. There's some tips if you are divorced with children, and then there's tips if you're divorced and you're single and you don't have children. So first, if you are divorced without children, the hardest thing for people is they don't want to be alone. It just dredges up all kinds of things. And maybe their ex is, on Facebook, at some Christmas party or something. So my first thing I always tell my clients is, don't torture yourself. Don't go on Instagram. Don't go on Facebook. Don't go on Twitter. Don't go into all the social media trying to scope out where your ex is. That just perpetuates the problem. And during the holidays, nobody needs that. So I always tell them, please, just promise yourself that you're going to stay away from social media. Mm-hmm. And the second thing is acceptance. Lots of times peace comes with acceptance. And as difficult as it is, if you can accept where you are today and trust that you are where you are for a reason, knowing that tomorrow is going to be better, acceptance is going to get you a long way to finding peace. And then the third thing is, and I know it sounds cliche and people like, oh my God, Deb, please, but it's absolutely true. If you can step outside of yourself, stop sitting at home feeling sorry for yourself. There are people way worse than you are. So if you can get out there and help someone else and step away from your own pain and your own heartache and help someone else, you will feel so much better. And I will tell you, Cece, I'm not saying anything that I have not experienced or walked that path myself, because I was married for 15 years and divorced with 2 children, and it was very difficult. So then that brings me to, what do you do? How do you get through the holidays when you have to be apart from your children for half of the time, which is always difficult for a parent? And what I say up front is, don't view it. I'm really big on perception, and I'm really big on how you view things. How you view things is essentially how it's going to end up happening for you. So if you start viewing the holidays as, I just have to get through them. I just have to get through the holidays. I mean, how many times do we hear friends and people say that? Oh, I just got to get through these holidays. It's not about getting through it. Even though you're divorced and your children are going to be with you, find a way to enjoy it, because you can. Even if it's for 5 minutes, you can find a way to enjoy the holidays. And part of that is being proactive. I make my clients sit down and not only tell me, but they have to commit to writing their plan for the holidays. You have to have a plan. Don't wait until it's Christmas Eve at 7:00 when your ex is picking up the children to try to figure out what you're going to do. Because once that door shuts and the children are out of your home, you're in a puddle of tears, you're upset, you don't know what you're going to do, it's too late to call friends or family or whatever. That's not a good time to start planning. So I make them to commit to paper, what are your holiday plans? What is it that you're going to do during the holidays when you don't have your children? And it can be something as simple as, you know what, I need to take time for myself, I'm going to take a bubble bath, I'm going to read a good book. But I find if you commit to paper, you're more likely to go back to it and stick to it than if you just think about what you're going to do.
That's a great idea. Because so often I know, because, I handle the divorce support group here in our local area. And, I suggest go clean the room and do things that you can't do when they're there, that kind of thing. And so it's amazing. But connecting with others is truly, especially at holiday time, is really a great thing to do. And so it's I like what you said, get out there, do something different, shake it up a little bit, step out of the box. So you can definitely go and volunteer your time, to the needy, things like that. It makes you appreciate, what you do have. So,
and I realize and I appreciate it's very difficult. I mean,
Mhm.
I've been divorced for 8 years, but I still remember that first Christmas when I had to send my 10 and 11-year-old out of the house. And I had been the one that had been with them every Christmas since they were born. And unlike what I'm telling you, I didn't have someone to tell me, Deb, you need a plan.
Right.
And no one told me I needed to accept anything. I was going to go down fighting. I wasn't going to accept one thing about it. And you know what? It made it worse. If you can accept it and say, listen, I can't do anything about this. I can't change it. So all I can do is accept it and find a way to make it easier. Find a way to make it better. Don't spend your energy trying to say that you're not going to accept something that you can't change. Find a way to make it better. Use that energy to find a way to make it better and have that plan. And part of that plan really is, I mean, even if you have to force yourself to walk out that door to go down to the Salvation Army or whatever, get out that door and do something for someone else. Even if it's a neighbor that needs help, or, you know, it really, you just feel so much better when you step out of yourself for a while.
Yeah, that is so true. And I love so much what you say, Debbie, because like you know the feeling. You know, you've been there, you've experienced it. So you're talking from your heart. You're also talking from experience that you've maybe done things that you probably shouldn't have done, caused more pain for yourself.
Right.
And so now, we know, even myself, I know different things that are so much better that you can share with others to be able to help them. And so it's really great that you're stepping out, doing this time of year to be able to share with other people. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go on a quick break. And when we do, we're going to come back. We're going to talk about more about the actual process of going through divorce, what we can try to do to make it a little bit easier for us. So we have Debbie Martinez with us. She is a collaborative divorce coach. She is a certified coach. She does mediation, arbitration, definitely knows her stuff in and out with regards to divorce, and she can help you be able to, kind of make things a little bit easier for you. So we'll be right back. This is Cece with Going Solo. You are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We'll be right back for now. Okay, we're going to bring it right back. Okay, it is so great having you guys. I love it. I love it. I love it. And every time we are here on Going Solo with Cece, it is just such a great moving experience. And today we have with us a guest called Debbie Martinez. She is a wonderful lady. She's giving some of her time today during this holiday season, stepping out, kind of trying to help you change a little bit of your outlook and maybe make it a little bit easier for you on your path of divorce. She has a wonderful site. It's called transformationthroughdivorce.com, and that's transformation, divorce.com. And so welcome back to the show, Debbie.
Thanks. Thank you.
Well, the first part of the show, we talk a lot about kind of helping getting you through a little bit of your background. So tell us a little bit about, mediation and the collaborative divorce, because what we're trying to do here on Going Solo, we're trying to make people more aware of different options that they have in divorce. And I think divorce coaching is really helping to bring people through the other side of pain, because divorce is very painful for many, many out there. So what would you say as far as mediation and collaborative divorce so that they can better understand what their options are?
So, there are a couple of options going through divorce. The traditional divorce is someone says, I want out, I want a divorce. And right away, he runs out and gets an attorney, she gets an attorney, and now they're fighting. There's depositions, there's filings, there's all kinds of nastiness going on. Meanwhile, they're racking up the bills and they're depleting their bank account. That's one way to get divorced. And essentially, that's always at the end, I'm telling you, litigation, it just tears people apart. It tears families apart. It's not a good way to move forward and try to heal from the breakup of any relationship. Then we have collaborative divorce, which it's been around, but there's this resurgence. And here in Charleston, we're really trying to get it up and running because we feel that is the best way for families. When you have children, this is the best way to go. For you personally, to heal, this is the best way to go because you're not ending this relationship in a bad way. You're ending it as a team. And so they would each have their own attorneys. They for sure would have their own attorneys, but we work as a team. So they would come to the table with their attorneys, and we have several meetings because we're talking about different things. And there's one financial person. They don't each need their own accountant. There's one financial person. Everything is above board. Everything is very transparent, right out there on the table. There's a mental health professional and a child specialist if they need it. And then there's a coach like myself. And so I will case manage it, and I will make sure the process keeps moving. And if there's any kind of a glitch, I'm in touch with the clients, I'm in touch with the attorney, I'm in touch with the financial planner, and I'm pulling everybody together. If the clients have questions, it's a lot easier and cheaper for them to get in touch with me. And then if I can't answer it or take care of it, then I get in touch with the attorneys. So it's just a far better approach. And we really encourage co-parenting. You know, we teach them how to be good co-parents. And they just heal. I really feel it's more, you're healing as you're going through the divorce because you have that support. You're not fighting with each other.
I love that. I think that's so important. And I have seen the two sides of the coin. You know, I've seen couples that have gone through the divorce with the attorney, and they're arguing over everything. They end up at the same place, but a lot less.
Right.
They have a lot less to show for it, you know, and a lot more pain that they've experienced. Now, I'm not saying that sometimes you have to have that. Sometimes there's just no getting around it.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
You know, that's just, it's sad, but sometimes that's the case. But then there are other times when you can work something out if you sit down together and you talk about it. So mediation is really a hot topic for me. It's a real plus for me. And I just feel that it will change the face of divorce if people are aware that those options are out there for them. What I like so much about what you do is that you help them through that movement that they have to go through, because so often as you're going through divorce, and you and I both know that it's stages that we progress. You know, for somebody, you have the denial, you know, you have the acceptance, you have the anger, you know, you have all of these different things that we go through. And it seems like with a divorce, certified divorce coach, you can help take them through those stages, and they have to go through those. It's not like you can skip them around, because you do as an individual, you have to go through those. But you, Debbie, can help them move through those a little bit more efficient, and also helps linger in the areas where they need to help work on themselves. And so tell us a little bit about that transition period that you take couples through or individuals through as you're processing the divorce.
So if someone comes to me outside of the collaborative practice, I work a lot differently with them than within the collaborative team approach. So if someone comes to me as strictly an individual, maybe they're litigating, and I will, depending on where they are, you know, well, where are you? How do you want this divorce to look? How do you want your life to look after the divorce? One of the first things that I make them do, which is a great exercise actually, Cece, for anyone, is I have them draft a letter to a friend. They never mail it, but they draft a letter to a friend as if it's 1, 2, or 3 years down the road, as if they're already a year down the road past their divorce. And they have to describe their life as they see it, that 1, 2, or 3 years down the road. And I make them do it very detailed. They can't just tell me, dear Cece, you know, it's been a year since my divorce, and I'm happy and I'm living in Brooklyn. No, they have to say, are you living in a condo? What does a condo look like? Are you living in a home? Where are you living? What does that look like? Do you have a pet? You know, what is your job? They have to describe what their life looks like. And then that's their template. Then we start working on goals to get them to that letter that they're writing to a friend. So that's one of the first exercises that I do with anybody. And then I'll help them through everything. I mean, how are you going to co-parent? If someone's telling me that they have a narcissist who's going to be their ex-spouse, they still have to deal with that person because that's the father of their children. And how are you going to deal with that narcissist? There's a special way that you can deal with narcissistic people without, you know, making yourself crazy. So we work on things like that. Or if you have to go back to work, you know, what is your passion? Is there a way that we can turn your passion into a viable job for you. So I work on all of those things, and then also navigating just the whole legal process. Do you have all your paperwork? What is it that your attorney needs next week? Do you have that ready? Do you need me to help you get that ready? I had a client come in, and she was on her way to the attorney's office, and she literally had a grocery bag, and she dumped all the papers on my desk. And I was like, what is this? She goes, well, this is everything that the attorney needs. I said, oh no. So we sat there and organized in files so that she could keep her divorce organized. Because what I find is that if someone feels disorganized, they feel out of control. And when they feel out of control, they feel disempowered. So part of my job is to help my clients feel that you are still in control of your life and you still can feel empowered through this process.
That's terrific. And they didn't have this, years ago.
I didn't even know that this existed when I was in my divorce 8 years ago. And I really could have utilized one. I think I would have been in a far better place had I had someone like me at that point in my life.
I so agree, because I think for me it's about the same as you, 8-9 years.
8 years
being divorced, and I didn't even know about any of this. All I just knew is how am I going to get through my divorce? How am I going to get through it? And luckily, a friend had started the divorce support group just as a way of connecting like-minded people together. And it's grown since then. I've taken it over, and I've had it for several years now. And I'm doing different things with it now, because I think our lives are changing, and I'd like to see others be able to, like you, be able to be in touch with coaches that are out there that they can connect with and get them through this, because the healing process is so much faster when you can connect with someone that can really tap in to you.
And when you feel that you know what's going on, when you feel that you're knowledgeable and that you know the resources that are out there, and working on parenting plans with some of my clients, I've really realized that they really have no idea everything that goes into this. Because if they're coming to me to do a parenting plan and their children are, let's say, 5, well, they're focused on, the parenting plan, he's 5. And I say, yeah, that's great. But what happens when he's 10 or 12? We need to incorporate all of that in this parenting plan, because he's not going to be 5 forever. And as they get older, they change, their needs change, their interests change. And you don't want to put in a parenting plan that you'll only agree to pay for summer camp as it is now, because he's going to day camp now. What happens when he's 14 and he wants to go to sleepaway? Who's gonna foot that bill? And then there's a fight. So let's avoid the fight and all the gray area and make everything black and white. And people they don't know all these things to look at. And
so it's great. So how would we contact you if we find that we're listening to you today and we really have a connection with you? How do we contact you to be able to use your services?
So you can email me at debbie@transformationthroughdivorce.com, or you can call me at 305-984-5121. And my website, you can go on my website. There's a lot of information on there, a lot of articles. Anybody can read about a number of things. And that's transformationthroughdivorce.com.
Wonderful. Well, I thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Cece. I enjoyed it.
I think it's helped so many people. And, the more that they talk with coaches out there and they connect and they better understand that what they're going through, they're not alone. They're totally not alone. And
and it's so great that there are people like you who, do these support groups and get these radio shows out there for everyone. Because, without people like you, people wouldn't be able to connect. You're like connecting all the dots for people, which is great. So thank you.
Oh, well, you're welcome. Thank you very much. It is such a pleasure to be here each and every week and sharing the show with everyone. And we're getting such a great response here on Going Solo Network. So I am so pleased and honored to be part of it. And I thank you for joining us, because I love what you do. I think that you are out there helping people equally. You're helping them get through one of the most difficult times of their lives, and it is life-changing going through divorce, and it's how we look at things. And I love your perception of being able to, you know, really do it in a very positive way, a positive spin on it, understanding that life does change, and sometimes it's not what we want, it's not what we expect, but we have to sometimes deal with it. And so trying to do it the best way we can is really great. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. And thank you for having me. I totally enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you. Well, this is Cece with Going Solo. You were listening to Debbie Martinez. And again, you can reach her on transformationthroughdivorce.com. That's transformation, THRU, divorce.com. And we hope that you will reach out and contact her. Let her know if you have any questions. I'm sure she'd be happy to answer any of those. So we're going to have to sign off for now. This is Cece with Going Solo. You are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. Bye for now.